Hey guys, and welcome back to MNUFC TV. I'm going to get into the instant match reaction to Minnesota United 1, Real Salt Lake 1. This was played at Real Salt Lake, in Utah. And it was a really quiet first half, but in the first 5 minutes, there was very controversial no call, no foul inside the box on Ethan Finley, who was just chasing a routine through ball, and I forgot which center back, but one of the center backs, I believe, or may have been one of the backs, has a needless upper thigh leg kick to Finley's face, and it was a super dangerous kick. It was a really high kick. It was a high kick, and if it was a foul, it should have been a foul in the middle of the park. So I don't know why it wouldn't have been a foul inside the box right there, and should have been a penalty then. Not going to complain because it would have been up to the referee. So it's another piss poor refereeing decision from MLS, and it's a pretty bad look. The MLS is pretty poor for its referee standards. It seems like, at least from everyone watching any game, just about. There's just some baffling refs, ugh, famous. Just everyone knows how awful they are. That's how they know them. So he wasn't good on both sides of the teams. It was just awful. But tonight it was just bad refereeing for that call, at least. So there are some good calls most of the time, but what are you gonna do? He's a lot better than a lot of the other ones I've seen. So I'm not gonna complain about that. But that call was pretty poor too. Not call. But anyway, Lennon picks up a yellow card late in the 21st minute after pulling back Molino's jersey in a straight jersey pull, definitely yellow. And there was a couple of no calls that were happening and really physical. It was really back and forth first half, and it was really boring, extremely boring. And Greg Goose actually picked up a yellow card too in the first half in the 28th minute, but there wasn't too much. There was a lot of squandered chances in the final third, and the final end ball wasn't coming around, and set pieces weren't coming off. Vito didn't have too much to do in the first half. He made one or two good saves, and Nick Raimondo looks like he needs to retire pretty soon because there was about one chance in the very end of the half. It was like a deflection from a Montier cross that he looked like he had no idea that it was deflected in, and he kicks it right or punches it right out to Finley, and Finley, I believe it was Finley, and he couldn't do anything with it. But um, it was Gasper had a rough night. I thought did some things really well, but they kept going to his side a lot. Montier looked a bit. He looked like an all-star for sure, but he looked like he had a run of games, and at the end of the game, it looked like his legs were getting tired. I want to say during the first half, but towards the end. But you go into halftime tied 0-0. There's no changes at half, but it looked like we needed to get a spark. Both teams did. It was quite boring, and right away, our RSL got a corner, and Vito had to make a huge save right after a little spell right off the bat from Real Salt Lake, curling with someone's right foot. Forgot who it was, but a nice curler from the RSL player, and Vito makes a huge save. And it was nice to see him be making huge saves after having not a lot of action and stuff in that first half. But it was a huge save, and we end up getting a nice spell right before the 60th minute, and Greg Goose is darting through the midfield and gets a little bit of space and rips one outside the box, and Greg Goose has a really nice shot with that right foot from outside the box, and he had one, I think, in the first half that was just a little bit outside the goalkeeper's box or the goal post, but it was he's got a wicked shot outside that box, and he ends up shooting one right before the 60th minute, a little bit before the 60th minute, and Romero has to punch it out for a goal kick, or not a goal kick, a corner. And Gregus ended up going to take the corner with his right foot, and Mason Toye wins the first header and glances it towards the back post, where Darwin is left, finds a couple yards of space off his defender, and just taps it with his head and the near post, or in that far post, and we go up 1-0. And it was a really, really good set piece goal. Assist from Toye. Even though Toye struggled, I thought, a bit today with the hold-up play, which I think fits our system better. Like when Angelo's playing, it's not really the type of player, the striker Mason Toye is, but he's kind of struggled, I thought, a bit tonight. But anyway, we go up 1-0, and they made a couple substitutions, and we did too, and around this right after that. Molino comes out for Ibarra, and then shortly after that, they scored off they had a couple corners, and then they kept the possession, and we just kept giving them the ball away before that, and it was sloppy play by us, and off a corner from the right side, they keep the possession on the left side, and just a low ball in, they're able to just shoot it, just a nice one time, with a lot of traffic in front, and it's low, and it just trickles through Vito. Would have been a tough save, but then it's tied 1-1, unfortunately. And then right after Rusnik come off for Plata, their big player Rusnak, I believe it is, which is a very surprising substitution. But it really kept heating up, and we had a couple really good chances at the end when Mason Toye actually came out for Abu, at that same time as the Plata substitution. And once Olam came on in the 87th minute, he had a lot of breakup play in that midfield, and questions why, even though Dotson played great, questions why we didn't maybe start him in there, and maybe have a different option with I think Finley struggled a bit, and Molino didn't have the best night. Maybe even Dotson play up a little bit higher in that midfield, but he played central mid pretty well tonight, and he played really well. But Olam came in, and with those guys after Darwin, he had replaced Darwin, and we had set up shop, and Dotson came a bit forward, and we had a lot of good possession, got opportunities, or almost opportunities, just with the ball bouncing around, kind of at the cluster at the end of the game. But it's a draw, a nice away draw. Really busy schedule coming to an end, kind of little end. So it's nice that we'll just have, in the beginning of August, just the Open Cup match, and then one more friendly in September, which with the Mexican side, I think it's a needless friendly, but if it can generate some money for some players, do what you do. But right before playoffs, I don't know if it's the best idea, but we'll see how that pans out. But with a nice draw and the end of a nice busy stretch, they'll get a nice rest with the All-Star break, besides Montier, of course, who's our lone All-Star. And it was a nice draw with a an emphasis, like a little bit of emphasis on the nice, like kind of nice, because we had the lead, and really wish we could have got the 3 points and move all the way past Seattle. But what are you gonna do? We'll have to definitely take 3 points when we come home next week against Vancouver, I believe it is, the Whitecaps. But we need to get those points with a team dwelling at the bottom of our conference. But as always, come on, you loons, and thanks for stopping by.